And I've been fucked by the system. I just recently got fucked by the system, but you know,
How so?
I just got super railroaded into a deal with some shit I didn't do, and wrong place, wrong time. You know what I'm saying? And,
Shit in Vegas with the girls?
Nah, this wasn't in Vegas. This is in a state called Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
So they railroaded me with that and had me take a deal for some shit I didn't do. Said I was fucking, what's the shit? Human trafficking and made me take a deal for human trafficking and promoting prostitution.
Right, because I was watching an old Vlad interview from 2014 where you were talking about how you thought it was snitching that at a certain point Game accused you of basically like living with prostitutes.
He sent some shit and he say, you living in Las Vegas. I live in California. You understand what I'm saying? Las Vegas is 3 hours away. I go to Las Vegas, chill, gamble, do me, or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? At the same time, you wrote that and you write, you living in a crib with 2 prostitutes in Las Vegas, But I'm like, nigga, that's dry snitching. That's a real crime. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's a real crime. And if that was true, that's you telling the world and police or whoever else and judges or whoever else that's what I'm doing. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you testifying, that's what I'm doing right there. That's dry snitching. So for you to call me a snitch and you the one, you doing all this real live shit though, if that was true, yo, I'd be shook like a motherfucker right now. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's accusing me of a real crime. That you saying I'm in a crib and I'm living with 2 prostitutes. Nigga, I ain't no motherfucking pimp.
And then as I continued down your Wikipedia article, it's like in 2017, 40 was arrested for allegedly basically handling the transaction of a prostitute going to a John. So,
State of Minnesota versus Lawrence Carl Demetrius White. Date of birth 8/23/1975. Count 1, charge, fleeing a peace officer in a motor vehicle. Maximum sentence, 3 years and 1 day and or $5,000. Offense level, felony. Count 2, charge, promotes prostitution of an individual. Maximum sentence, 15 years and or $40,000. Offense level, felony.
I mean, I know you're not going to want to talk about it, but is that...
Man, I'll talk about it. I don't give a fuck,
What was pimping ever your hustle?
I ain't never pimped a day in my life, bro.
Really?
At approximately 8:20 p.m., a female, later identified as Sarah Renata Green, arrived at Residence 1. Detective Jeff Hohennessy, operating in an undercover capacity, made contact with Green at the front door. Green and Hohennessy engaged in conversation, and Green ultimately agreed to engage in a sexual act for money.
So where's the confusion coming from? How did the cops get confused about that situation in the sense that like they're accusing you of something pretty specific, that you were like driving these girls to somebody's house because of prostitution that was arranged on Backpage?
Right. First of all, I had no idea it was arranged. Do you feel me? I was sleeping in the car. I didn't roll there to do none of that shit.
Officer Ben Hansi with the Mapleton Police Department was assisting in the investigation and reported that between 8 o'clock and 10:30 p.m., he watched a white 4-door passenger vehicle drive past Residence 1 multiple times, driving back and forth in front of the residence and driving slowly down the street in front of the residence. This vehicle appeared to be carrying the female, who was later identified as Sarah Green.
So at the same time, she wasn't a prostitute and she wasn't prostituting.
State of Minnesota versus Sarah Renata Green. Date of birth 9/12/1979. Count 1, charge, prostitution. Prostitute engages with 18-year-old or older. Maximum sentence 1 year and or $3,000. Offense level, gross misdemeanor. Count 2, charge, prostitution. Prostitute hired, offers or agrees to be hired by 18-year-old or older. Maximum sentence 1 year and or $3,000. Offense level, gross misdemeanor.
And when we looked at all the evidence, she told him that she wouldn't come there to prostitute. She is a stripper though. She do strip. You know, feel me? But she didn't prostitute to there. She didn't do none of that.
On February 23, 2017, at approximately 8:34 p.m., multiple officers were working a prostitution sting in the Blue Earth County area as a task force. Detective Mark Chatterton with the Nicollet County Sheriff's Office had initiated messages with a person posting on Backpage.com. In responding to the ad placed, Detective Chatterton arranged to meet a female at Residence 1 in Blue Earth County. for $400 an hour.
And he did all that weird shit. He got her in there, and when we read all the paperwork, he tried to make her get naked.
Oh, because this is like an informant who was wearing a wire while this was all happening,
this was
right?
a cop, bro. This was an informant.
Okay, yeah.
And he got in there. I'm reading all the evidence, bro. He got fully naked, took off all his clothes on her. She told him no. So when she danced for him, he get her to, I guess, he says that he got her to show her top.
Once the deal was completed, officers moved in to arrest Green. Detective Brian Martin with the Blue Earth County Sheriff's Office made contact with Green and observed she was topless. Detective Martin searched her pants for weapons and then allowed her to put her clothing back on. Detective Martin recognized Green from the photos in the Backpage.com ad. Detective Jerry Billier, also with the Blue Earth County Sheriff's Office, located $400 of pre-recorded buy money on Green's person. It should be noted that during this time, a white Hyundai was observed parked nearby Residence 1.
And they arrested her for it. Keep in mind, they dismissed her. He took her all her charges to trial, and they dismissed her shit at trial.
Right.
Now, they still pursued and charged me. And all my lawyers I hired, I went through 3 lawyers, said, nobody can understand, how are you still charging my client? How are you still charging him? You didn't even charge her. You charged her and you dismissed her charges because she didn't do it.
Green was escorted to a back room to be interviewed by Detective Billier. While speaking with Green, Detective Martin observed Green had a Bluetooth headset around her neck and that the headset was on. Detective Martin located the cell phone in Green's property and observed it appeared to have a live call on the phone. Detective Martin removed the headset and turned it off, and the on-screen cleared.
How am I human trafficked if I didn't drive there? The girl told you I didn't. The girl told you everything. The girl, she told him this, it wasn't, I didn't do shit and I wasn't doing shit. You feel me?
While arresting and processing Green, Detective Martin was advised that the vehicle Green had arrived in had left the location. That vehicle was subsequently stopped by Mapleton Police Department, and the driver was identified as Lawrence Carl Demetrius White. When White was stopped by the Mapleton Police Department, they observed he had a cut to his hands and that he had several cell phones in his possession that were smashed. It appears White was smashing the cell phones in order to avoid the detection of criminal activity by law enforcement.
But in that case, it was either I can go to trial. My lawyer said I got a lot of leeway for appeal, but my appeals would be 5 to 10 years or something like that, and I still might lose, and then have to get appealed again, and I'll be done wasted a gang of my life sitting up in there. So we try to work out a better deal. And now they stick me with 2 felonies. They stick me with human trafficking, like I'm out here just pushing bitches around. I'm not trafficking no bitch for no motherfucking $100.
Were you in a situation where the cops were already like really trying to get your ass at that time?
Yeah, he was. You could tell because when they arrested me, they brought me in another little car and brought me up back over there, and he said, he came in the car, he was like, what's up, man? The girl said you pimping her out and whoop whoop, and you pimping on kids and da-da-da. I was like, man, what? I said, man, you trying to set me up, man? Give me a lawyer, man. I got nothing to say to you, man.
Wow.
And they took me. When I go to jail, I'll get my paperwork while I'm in jail. Guess what I'm charged with? Pimping on a minor.
In the same prostitution sting, Jace S. Mathis and MD Humaid Ansari were charged with felony prostitution for hiring or agreeing to hire and reasonably believing in individuals under 18. This had nothing to do with 40 Glocc. Same prostitution sting operation, different people. Don't be confused.
So it's now I'm on a whole just all circumstantial evidence trial for my life for like 20, 30 years I'm fighting. Keep in mind, none of them knew I was 40 Glocc yet.
When Officer Hansi learned that the female did not return to the vehicle, he began surveillance of the vehicle as it drove away from Residence 1. While pursuing the vehicle, it became obvious to Officer Hansi that the driver was attempting to get away from the area as he was having a hard time catching up to the vehicle. The vehicle was identified as the white Hyundai previously parked at Residence 1, and it was eventually stopped at the intersection in Blue Earth County.
First of all, the girl, she don't even have priors for hoeing. She's not even a hooker, you feel me?
Also located in Green's property was a pink bottle with a clear liquid inside, a Germ-X bottle, and 4 Trojan condoms. Green admitted to having been arrested for prostitution about 3 years ago and also about 20 years ago in Nevada. Detective Martin ran a criminal history and found that Green was arrested for prostitution in Las Vegas on April 9, 2015 and was found guilty on February 12, 2016. Detective Martin also located an arrest in September 2015 in California for prostitution.
They tapped all my lines, went through all my phones, not one message of pimping, hoeing, trafficking, nothing.
Officers observed that White had a headset and earpiece on his head and ears. It was vibrating when it was handed to an assisting officer. Officer Hagen leaned into the driver's side and saw 2 crushed cell phones on the seat and another crushed Samsung battery next to it.
They really got me out there and finger fucked me. You know what I'm saying? Railroaded me, and I just took a deal, bruh, for some shit I really, bruh. I might call a female that I had sexual relations with from 10 years ago, like, how you doing, girl? And then she like, oh, and I see me a picture, she still look good. Oh, what's up, girl?
And she got the cops watching her, so all of a sudden you wrapped up in it.
And I'm wrapped in it. You feel me? So that's what happens. You feel me?